Every hair on my arm is straight up right now. Look at this. Holy look at that.
For decades, the near-mythical Bigfoot has eluded human pursuit, leaving behind tantalizing hints of its existence. Recently, Russell Acord from Expedition Bigfoot stumbled upon a shocking discovery: enormous footprints, unlike any known animal. Could this be proof of Bigfoot's existence? Join us as we delve into the recent compelling evidence and mysteries about Bigfoot, Native American folklore, and the origins of Bigfoot. The legend of Bigfoot is deeply intertwined with the rich tapestry of Native American folklore, particularly in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. For centuries, indigenous tribes have shared captivating stories of mysterious, hairy humanoid creatures that roam the dense forests and misty mountains of the area. These tales, passed down through generations, offer a fascinating glimpse into the cultural beliefs and traditions surrounding Bigfoot. The term Sasquatch, which has become synonymous with Bigfoot, finds its roots in the language of the Salish people, a diverse group of Native American tribes inhabiting the Pacific Northwest. In their tongue, Sasquatch translates to hairy man or wild man, vividly describing the elusive, ape-like being that has captured the imagination of people around the world. Similarly, the Lummi people, another indigenous tribe of the region, have their own term for the creature, Semekwes, which also refers to a hairy human-like entity said to inhabit the wilderness. Native American legends often portray Bigfoot as a powerful, elusive being that possesses a deep, almost spiritual connection to the natural world. In many stories, Sasquatch is depicted as a guardian of the forest, a protector of the delicate balance between humans and nature. The creature is said to possess an intimate knowledge of the land, its secrets and its hidden treasures, making it a formidable and respected figure in indigenous lore. Interestingly, encounters with Bigfoot are not always viewed as inherently dangerous or malevolent in Native American folklore. While some tales caution against disturbing or disrespecting the creature, others suggest that coming across a Sasquatch can bring good fortune and even spiritual enlightenment to those deemed worthy. The Salish people, for instance, believe that a person who encounters a Sasquatch and treats it with respect may be bestowed with special knowledge or abilities, reflecting the deep reverence and mystique surrounding the creature in their culture. However, the legends also warn of the potential dangers of crossing paths with Bigfoot. Many stories depict the creature as a formidable adversary, possessing immense strength and the ability to harness the forces of nature. Disrespecting or threatening a Sasquatch is said to bring about dire consequences, ranging from misfortune and illness to even death. This duality in the portrayal of Bigfoot highlights the complex and nuanced relationship between indigenous peoples and the mysterious beings that share their forests. Discovery at Hidden Mountain Lake, the Expedition Bigfoot. In the shadowy depths of the Pacific Northwest wilderness, where towering evergreens stretch toward the sky and mist-shrouded valleys hold untold secrets, a remarkable discovery has recently come to light. Hidden Mountain Lake, long whispered about by locals for its strange occurrences and eerie atmosphere, has now become the epicenter of a groundbreaking find that may forever change our understanding of the elusive creature known as Bigfoot. At the heart of this discovery is Russell Acord, a seasoned Bigfoot investigator and star of the hit television series Expedition Bigfoot. With years of experience and a keen eye for detail, Russell has long been driven by an insatiable curiosity about the existence of this enigmatic being. When a series of tantalizing reports from hikers and campers in the Hidden Mountain Lake area reached his ears, he knew he had to investigate. Assembling a team of expert researchers, including the renowned primatologist Mireya Mayer and the gifted tracker Ronnie LeBlanc, Russell set out to uncover the truth behind the rumors. As they trekked through the dense underbrush, navigating the treacherous terrain with determined steps, an uncanny sense of being watched settled over the group. The forest seemed to hold its breath, as if aware of their presence and guarding its own mysterious secrets. Suddenly, a shout from Mireya pierced the eerie stillness. There, embedded in the soft earth near the water's edge, was a series of massive footprints, unlike anything the team had ever seen. Measuring a staggering 20 inches in length and nearly 8 inches in width, These tracks dwarfed those of any known animal and hinted at the presence of a creature of almost mythical proportions. Russell and his team quickly set to work documenting their find with meticulous care. As they photographed and measured each impression, marveling at the incredible depth and clarity of the tracks, a palpable sense of excitement and unease settled over the group. This was no mere hoax or misidentification. Something truly extraordinary had passed this way. As they explored further, even more startling discoveries emerged. The footprints seemed to form a trail, winding purposefully through the undergrowth and vanishing into the primordial depths of the forest. Broken branches, disturbed vegetation, and even the lingering musk of an unknown creature all added to the growing body of evidence that something remarkable was afoot. For Russell, Mireya, and Ronnie, the implications were staggering. If these footprints were indeed evidence of a Bigfoot-like creature residing in the wilderness surrounding Hidden Mountain Lake, it would represent a major breakthrough in the field of cryptozoology. The scientific community would be forced to reevaluate long-held assumptions about the nature and limits of life on Earth. But even as excitement built within the team, a sense of caution and skepticism remained. Ronnie, with his years of tracking experience, knew all too well how easily nature could deceive and confound even the most seasoned investigators. Mireya, ever the rigorous scientist, called for further analysis and study before any definitive conclusions could be drawn, and so the team set about collecting samples, hair fibers snagged on branches, plaster casts of the footprints themselves, all while continuing their search for additional clues. Cameras were set up throughout the area, their watchful lenses trained on game trails and watering holes where they hoped to catch a glimpse of this incredible creature. As word of their discovery spread through the Bigfoot research community and beyond, other experts began to take notice. Some dismissed the find as yet another hoax or misidentification. Speculation that perhaps these were nothing more than bear tracks or elaborate fakes left behind by pranksters. But those who saw the evidence firsthand knew better. They recognized that something truly historic was unfolding before their eyes. In the weeks and months that followed, Russell, Mireya, and Ronnie continued their tireless work at Hidden Mountain Lake. The initial rush of excitement gave way to a more measured sense of purpose as they systematically documented their findings and worked to unravel the mystery behind these incredible tracks. News crews and fellow researchers flocked to the area, drawn by the allure of this remarkable discovery. Investigation, chasing shadows and sounds. Driven by an unyielding quest for proof of Bigfoot, Mireya Mayer and Ronnie LeBlanc again ventured into the heart of Hidden Mountain Lake's wilderness, but this time under the cloak of night. Armed with thermal imaging cameras and an unwavering resolve, they divided their search, each embracing a different lakeside path. As the last vestiges of daylight surrendered to the encroaching darkness, they unknowingly stepped into a realm where the extraordinary awaited. Mireya ventured into the dense foliage, her senses heightened by the eerie stillness of the night. As she navigated through the twisted branches and broken twigs, evidence of recent disturbances in the area, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Suddenly, a loud guttural sound pierced the silence, stopping her dead in her tracks. The sound seemed to be approaching her from an unknown direction, and Mireya's heart raced as she realized that something large and potentially dangerous was nearby. Ronnie, on the other side of the lake, faced similar challenges. The terrain was treacherous, littered with obstacles that threatened to impede his progress. Despite the difficulties, he pressed on, driven by the desire to uncover the truth behind the mysterious creature that had left its mark on the landscape. As he neared the water's edge, Ronnie heard a distinct sound of movement coming from the direction of the lake. The rustling of leaves and snapping of twigs suggested that something substantial was making its way toward the shoreline. Back at the base camp, Russell Acord monitored the situation using a sophisticated drone equipped with thermal imaging technology. As he watched the live feed, he noticed several large heat signatures moving through the woods, seemingly converging on Mireya and Ronnie's locations. Concerned for their safety, Russell quickly radioed his team, instructing them to exercise extreme caution and back away from the area if necessary. Mireya, now acutely aware of the potential danger, raised her binoculars and scanned the surroundings. To her astonishment, she spotted multiple huge heat signatures in the thermal imaging display, indicating the presence of several large creatures in the vicinity. The heat signatures appeared to be looking directly at her, sending a chill down her spine. As she watched, two of the creatures suddenly vanished from view, as if they had intelligently concealed themselves from detection. This disappearance only heightened Mireya's concerns about the level of intelligence and adaptability of these mysterious beings. Ronnie, meanwhile, continued to follow the sounds of movement, his own thermal imaging camera revealing a similar presence of large, unidentified creatures. The experience was both exhilarating and unnerving, as he knew that he was on the brink of a potentially groundbreaking discovery. The strange noises persisted, growing louder and more distinct as he drew closer to their source. Realizing the imminent danger, Russell instructed Mireya and Ronnie to reunite at a designated safe point. As they made their way toward each other, the eerie sounds and sensations intensified, leaving no doubt in their minds that they were not alone in the wilderness. The feeling of being watched, the inexplicable disappearance of the heat signatures, and the persistent noises all pointed toward an extraordinary encounter with an unknown species. Upon reuniting, Mireya and Ronnie shared their experiences, piecing together the fragments of evidence they had gathered. The presence of multiple large creatures, each weighing hundreds of pounds based on the size and depth of the footprints left behind, suggested that they were dealing with a population rather than a solitary individual. The apparent intelligence and ability to evade detection only added to the enigma surrounding these beings. As the night wore on, the team continued their investigation, gathering additional data and evidence to support their theories. The use of advanced technology, combined with their expertise in primatology and wildlife tracking, allowed them to paint a clearer picture of the creature's behavior and habits. However, despite their best efforts, the beings seemed to stay just out of reach, leaving behind only tantalizing clues and unanswered questions. In the days and weeks that followed, Mireya, Ronnie, and Russell pored over the evidence they had collected, consulting with other experts in the field and comparing their findings to historical accounts and indigenous knowledge. The investigation at Hidden Mountain Lake opened up a new chapter in the search for Bigfoot, providing compelling evidence of the creature's existence and raising profound questions about its origins and place in the natural world. Bigfoot in the Emerald Triangle, myths and hidden motives. The Emerald Triangle, a region in Northern California known for its dense forests, rugged terrain, and thriving cannabis industry, has long been a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings and encounters. However, recent investigations and media attention have cast a darker shadow over the Bigfoot phenomenon in this area, raising questions about the motives behind some of the more sensational claims and the role of skepticism in unraveling the truth. In the heart of the Emerald Triangle lies Humboldt County, a place steeped in Bigfoot lore and home to countless reported sightings and encounters. For decades, locals have shared stories of strange creatures lurking in the forests, leaving behind massive footprints and haunting vocalizations. Some even claim to have had close encounters with the beasts, describing them as towering, hairy humanoids with piercing eyes and an otherworldly presence. However, a recent investigation by the Hulu miniseries Sasquatch has shed new light on some of the more notorious Bigfoot stories to emerge from the Emerald Triangle. The series, which premiered in 2021, delves into the dark underbelly of the region's cannabis industry and explores the possibility that some Bigfoot encounters may have been staged or fabricated as part of a larger conspiracy to protect illegal marijuana grows and intimidate rival growers and workers. At the center of the series is the story of three men who were allegedly murdered by a Sasquatch-like creature on a remote cannabis farm in 1993. According to the account, the men were brutally killed by a massive, hairy beast that emerged from the forest and attacked without warning. The bodies were allegedly disposed of by the farm's owners, who feared that reporting the incident would bring unwanted attention to their illegal operation. While the story of the 1993 killings has become a cornerstone of Emerald Triangle Bigfoot lore, the Sasquatch series raises troubling questions about its veracity and the motives of those who have perpetuated it over the years. Through interviews with former cannabis growers, law enforcement officials, and local residents, the series posits that the Bigfoot story may have been used as a cover for more nefarious activities, including murder, intimidation, and the protection of drug cartels. The idea that Bigfoot stories could be used as a tool of misdirection and deception is not new, but the Sasquatch series brings it to the forefront in a compelling and disturbing way. It suggests that some of the most sensational Bigfoot encounters in the Emerald Triangle may have been staged using costumes, props, or even trained animals in order to create a climate of fear and confusion that would deter outsiders and protect the interests of those involved in the illegal cannabis trade. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Russell just found the evidence they have been searching for. According to rumors, one of his team members stumbled upon a strange sight in the forest. Upon investigation, he was shocked to discover men in full hazmat suits surrounding a creature that looked remarkably like Bigfoot. The creature appeared to be either deceased or heavily sedated. They swiftly removed it from the scene, loading it onto a waiting helicopter. What are your thoughts on this? Real sighting or just an elaborate hoax? Let us know in the comments. The Wild Supernatural Tribe, Andrew Jackson Blackbird's account. To better understand the Bigfoot phenomenon, exploring the perspectives of Native Americans offers valuable insights. Andrew Jackson Blackbird, a respected Ottawa historian, provides a fascinating glimpse into the rich tapestry of Native American folklore surrounding these mysterious creatures. In his writings, Blackbird recounts captivating tales of the Wild Supernatural Tribe, beings that have captivated the imagination of indigenous peoples for generations and may hold clues to the enduring mystery of Bigfoot. According to Blackbird's account, the story of the Wild Supernatural Tribe begins with the tragic history of the Mishima people, a small, peaceful tribe that once inhabited the remote wilderness of what is now known as the Pacific Northwest. The Mishima lived in harmony with the land, respecting the delicate balance of nature and the spirits that dwelled within it. However, their way of life was suddenly and violently disrupted when a band of fierce Iroquois warriors descended upon their village, intent on conquest and destruction. The Iroquois attack was swift and brutal, leaving the Mishima village in ruins and its people scattered. In the aftermath of the carnage, only two survivors emerged, a young man and a young woman, both barely clinging to life. Faced with the daunting prospect of rebuilding their shattered world, the couple made a fateful decision. They turned their backs on the ruins of their former home and ventured deep into the heart of the wilderness, seeking solace and safety in the untamed reaches of the forest. As the years passed, the couple's love for each other blossomed, and they began to build a new life together in the wild. They raised a family of 10 strong and resilient children, each possessing an innate connection to the natural world. Over time, these children and their descendants developed extraordinary abilities, far surpassing those of ordinary humans. They became known as the Pagwa-Chanishnaboy, or the Wild Supernatural Tribe, revered and feared by the indigenous peoples who shared their lands. Blackbird's account of the Wild Supernatural Tribe is rich in detail and steeped in cultural significance. He describes the tribe as possessing incredible strength, agility, and sensory abilities, enabling them to move through the forest with unparalleled grace and speed. They were said to communicate with the spirits of the land, drawing upon ancient wisdom and mystical powers to navigate the challenges of their environment. Early 20th century, Bigfoot enters American consciousness. As the dawn of the 20th century arrived, a new and captivating mystery began to take hold of the American imagination. Whispers of strange, hairy humanoids roaming the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest started to circulate, sparking a wave of curiosity and intrigue that would eventually give rise to the legend of Bigfoot. One of the earliest and most significant events in this emerging narrative was the infamous Battle of Ape Canyon incident, which took place near the small town of Kelso, Washington in 1924. A group of miners working in the remote wilderness of the Cascade Mountains reported being attacked by a band of ape men, large bipedal creatures covered in dark hair, with facial features that seemed to blend human and animal characteristics. The miners' terrifying encounter quickly made headlines, capturing the attention of a public hungry for tales of the unusual and the unexplained. Newspapers across the country ran sensationalized stories about the Ape Canyon incident, fueling speculation about the existence of previously unknown primate species lurking in the American wilderness. The stage was set for Bigfoot to enter the national consciousness, and the public's fascination with this mysterious creature began to grow. In the decades that followed, Reports of Bigfoot sightings and encounters continued to trickle in from across the Pacific Northwest. Lumberjacks, hunters, and trappers, individuals who spent extended periods of time in the region's vast, untamed forests, began to share their own stories of coming face-to-face with the elusive beast. These eyewitness accounts, often shared around campfires and in small rural communities, added to the growing body of anecdotal evidence suggesting that something truly extraordinary was afoot in the wilds of North America. As the 20th century progressed, the legend of Bigfoot continued to evolve and expand, weaving itself into the fabric of American folklore. The creature became a symbol of the untamed wilderness, a reminder of the mysteries and wonders that still lurk beyond the edges of our rapidly modernizing world. Bigfoot's enduring appeal lay in its ability to challenge our assumptions about the natural order, to hint at the possibility that there were still great discoveries waiting to be made, even in an age of scientific enlightenment and technological advancement. The 1950s marked a turning point in the history of Bigfoot, as the creature began to transition from a regional curiosity to a national obsession. In 1958, a series of large humanoid footprints were discovered near Bluff Creek, California, in the heart of the state's rugged wilderness. The prints, measuring up to 16 inches in length and 7 inches in width, were widely publicized and quickly became known as the Bigfoot tracks, a name that would soon become synonymous with the creature itself. The Bluff Creek discovery ignited a media frenzy, with newspapers, magazines, and television programs all clamoring to cover the story. Scientists, skeptics, and believers alike weighed in on the significance of the prints, debating whether they represented evidence of a genuine, unknown species or were merely an elaborate hoax. The Patterson-Gimlin film, iconic Bigfoot footage. In the annals of Bigfoot history, few pieces of evidence have captured the public's imagination as powerfully as the Patterson-Gimlin film. This iconic footage, shot in 1967 by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, has become a cornerstone of Bigfoot lore, sparking decades of debate, analysis, and speculation about the existence of this elusive creature. The story behind the film is as captivating as the footage itself. Patterson and Gimlin, both experienced outdoorsmen and Bigfoot enthusiasts, were exploring the wilderness near Bluff Creek, California, when they encountered a sight that would forever change their lives. There, in a clearing alongside the creek, stood a towering, hairy humanoid, its dark form contrasting starkly against the sunlit forest. Without hesitation, Patterson raised his 16mm camera and began to film, capturing the creature as it strode across the clearing with a fluid, almost human-like gait. For approximately a minute, the two men watched in awe as the beast moved through the landscape, its powerful muscles rippling beneath its shaggy coat. When the creature finally disappeared into the forest, Patterson and Gimlin were left with a profound sense of both wonder and disbelief. Upon closer examination of the footage, the details of the creature's appearance became clearer. Standing between 6 and 7 feet tall, the Bigfoot in the film possessed a muscular, well-proportioned build that seemed to defy explanation. Its dark, matted hair covered its body from head to toe, with a distinctive conical shape to its skull and a flat, almost human-like face. The creature's movements, too, were fluid and natural, suggesting an adaptation to bipedal locomotion that was difficult to reconcile with known primate species. The impact of the Patterson-Gimlin film on the Bigfoot phenomenon cannot be overstated. Prior to its release, Bigfoot was a relatively obscure legend, known primarily to locals in the Pacific Northwest and a handful of dedicated researchers. However, the film's shocking clarity and the creature's undeniable presence catapulted Bigfoot into the national spotlight, igniting a frenzy of interest and debate that continues to this day. In search of evidence, scientific investigations. As the legend of Bigfoot has grown over the years, so has the scientific community's interest in unraveling the mystery surrounding this elusive creature. From the early days of the Bigfoot phenomenon to the present, researchers from various fields have sought to apply rigorous scientific methods to the study of Bigfoot in an effort to separate fact from fiction and to uncover the truth behind the countless sightings and encounters reported over the decades. One of the most compelling avenues of Bigfoot research has been the analysis of physical evidence, particularly footprint casts and hair samples. Over the years, researchers have collected and examined countless examples of alleged Bigfoot prints, carefully measuring and comparing their size, shape, and other characteristics to known animal tracks. While some prints have been dismissed as hoaxes or misidentifications, others have defied conventional explanations, suggesting the possibility of an unknown primate species. Among the most prominent figures in the scientific study of Bigfoot has been Dr. Grover Krantz, a physical anthropologist who dedicated much of his career to analyzing Bigfoot footprints. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Krantz conducted extensive research on alleged Bigfoot prints, meticulously measuring and comparing them to the tracks of known animals. His findings, which suggested the existence of a large bipedal primate with an injured or deformed foot, challenged conventional wisdom and sparked intense debate within the scientific community. Despite Krantz's intriguing conclusions, the majority of mainstream scientists have remained skeptical of Bigfoot's existence, citing the lack of definitive physical evidence, such as a body or DNA sample. Many have argued that the footprints and hair samples collected over the years could easily be the result of misidentification or deliberate hoaxing, and that the absence of a confirmed specimen makes it unlikely that a large, undiscovered primate could exist in the heavily populated and well-explored regions of North America. In recent years, however, new scientific techniques have emerged that offer fresh hope for Bigfoot researchers. One of the most promising of these is environmental DNA eDNA sampling, which involves collecting and analyzing genetic material from soil, water, and other environmental sources to identify the presence of unknown species. In 2019, a team of researchers led by Dr. Mireya Mayer, a primatologist and National Geographic explorer, used eDNA sampling to investigate alleged Bigfoot habitats in the Pacific Northwest, with intriguing results. Another area of scientific inquiry that has gained traction in recent years is the analysis of alleged Bigfoot vocalizations and calls. Using sophisticated acoustic analysis techniques, researchers have sought to identify patterns and similarities in the various howls, whistles, and other sounds attributed to Bigfoot in an effort to determine whether they represent a genuine form of communication among an unknown species. While the results of these studies have been mixed, they offer a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of a complex Bigfoot language and social structure. The Gigantopithecus theory, a tantalizing link to Bigfoot's origins. In the misty realm where science and legend intertwine, few questions have captured the imagination as profoundly as the origins of Bigfoot. Among the many theories that have emerged, one tantalizing possibility has garnered significant attention: the idea that Bigfoot may be a descendant of the ancient primate known as Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus, a name that evokes images of a behemoth from a bygone era, is widely recognized as the largest primate to have ever roamed the earth. Inhabiting the lush forests of Asia millions of years ago, these awe-inspiring creatures stood up to a staggering 10 feet tall and weighed between 400 and 600 pounds. Their immense size and striking resemblance to modern-day apes have led some researchers to speculate about a possible connection to the legendary Bigfoot. The theory goes that during the last ice age, when sea levels were much lower and land bridges connected continents, Gigantopithecus may have migrated from Asia to North America via the Bering Land Bridge. If true, this would mean that the Bigfoot creatures spotted throughout North America's forests might be the last surviving remnants of a once thriving Gigantopithecus population. However, the Gigantopithecus theory is not without critics. Mainstream scientists remain skeptical, pointing out the glaring lack of fossil evidence to support the idea of these ancient primates in North America. Moreover, the majority of Gigantopithecus remains discovered thus far suggests that these creatures were primarily quadrupedal, lacking the specialized adaptations for bipedal locomotion that are so often reported in Bigfoot sightings. Despite these challenges, the allure of the Gigantopithecus theory persists, fueled by our enduring fascination with the unknown and the tantalizing prospects of discovery. History is rife with examples of animals once dismissed as mythical or legendary, only to be proven real through persistent investigation and serendipitous finds. Take the giant squid, a creature of near-mythical status in sailors' tales for centuries. Its existence was only confirmed in the late 19th century, thanks to the tireless efforts of dedicated researchers. Similarly, the Komodo dragon and the okapi, both long relegated to the realm of folklore, were eventually recognized as bona fide members of the animal kingdom after years of skepticism and disbelief. These precedents raise intriguing questions about the potential existence of other undiscovered species, including creatures like Bigfoot that have thus far eluded definitive scientific evidence. While the evidence for a direct Gigantopithecus connection remains inconclusive, these historical examples suggest that the possibility of such a link cannot be dismissed entirely. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.